Hey, what's going on guys? It's Tom Mason here, and today I want to give you 5 tips for getting started in wildlife photography. Now, tip 1 is all about animal behaviour. Now, if you want to be a wildlife photographer, you've got to learn about animals, and that means going out there and watching wildlife, getting down your local nature reserve with a pair of binoculars in your hand, viewing it, watching how animals interact with their surroundings, stuff like that. Being able to find wildlife, spot wildlife is such a key thing to do. Also, you got to have the knowledge. Get your books, read up on your subject. It's really good. There's loads of really cool guides like this that you can get that give you information about tracking them and stuff like that. And all of this stuff is really handy when you're getting started, because at the end of the day, it allows you to identify your subjects, work out where they're going to be, and this is really cool stuff to have. Because if you know where your animal's going to be, you can understand them and get out and find them. You're going to be in a much better place for shooting those pictures when you catch up with them. Right, number 2, and that is to learn your camera. Obviously, yeah, I know, but I mean like fully learn it, so that when you look through the viewfinder and a fox is walking towards you, you don't need to lift your eye from that viewfinder to change any of the settings. You should know where the ISO button is, you should know what the dials do, you should know how to change things up without ever looking through the menu system, and you should also have your camera set to be able to do that before you go out into the field. A lot of people think this is going to take absolutely forever to do, but it's not. I reckon you could probably learn your camera inside and out probably within a couple of weeks of really sitting down and fiddling with it at home. Fiddling with it at home sounds a bit dodgy, but yeah, fiddling with it at home and finding all of those little bits about your camera and learning how to use it. Once you know that, you can get out into the field and be really confident that when something happens, you're gonna nail it. So tip number 3 is all about working locally. I mean, lots of people are like, yeah, I'm gonna go and work with polar bears. Like, you're not gonna work with polar bears to get started. Work locally is the best way to really start developing your work and making great pictures, because there are a few key things that you can do locally that you're just not gonna get to do with polar bears when you're starting out. And that is, first, have the time. Time is so key. Time is probably the biggest element of wildlife photography that not enough people talk about. Time allows you to get to know your subject, get to know the surroundings, get to wait on location for the light to be right. It just gives you so much. Time is key. If you put the time in with your subject, you will get better images. Local as well. You can get access. You can get out there every single day. If you have a full-time job and you work from 9 till 5, well, you can get home. You can get out there before you go to work in the morning for an hour, maybe even 2 hours if you get up early in the summer. When you get home at night, you can spend another hour doing it. And by having something local, you can repeatedly get back and visit it. And that is, the third major point is you can repeat. If it's something local, you can walk out your door, you can grab your camera bag, and you can go and make pictures absolutely every day. If you're going to go and shoot polar bears, God, you've got to get 2 flies, then you've got to get on a boat and go to Svalbard, and yeah, there's loads of stuff that just is in the way. But if it's local, you can really spend time, effort, and really get to know your subjects, and that will make so much better pictures for you in the long term. I started off with foxes at my local nature reserve. That was like my first big project that I ever did. At the end of the day, it was what got me started because I worked on something local, and that really helped me out. So yeah, work locally. That's tip number 3. Now, tip 4, in the words of Gary Barlow, have a little patience. If you want to be a wildlife photographer, you need to be a patient person. If you're not a patient person, then this might not be the career path for you, because you have to wait and wait and wait and wait. And sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's really cold, but you have to wait, because if you want to get the pictures, you've got to put the time in. Animals don't turn up in the first 30 seconds every time, and pretty much you're always sat there waiting. So learn a bit of patience. Have a little patience. Oh, that's going to be stuck in my head all day. Oh, I've got to get out of this. Oh. Right. Oh, that's better. Number 5 is get inspired. Okay, Every single day, you can improve your wildlife photography by finding some inspiration, whether it's through a magazine, a podcast, videos on YouTube, whether it is, looking at other wildlife photographers' websites. There is a huge amount of inspiration out there, so look at it every day. And don't just narrow yourself into just wildlife photographers. There are a boatload of photographers, artists, so much stuff that you can take inspiration from. Learn it and also write it down. Comment on it. Actually put pen to paper and give yourself some notes about stuff that you've seen. Maybe you watched a documentary on the TV and you thought, that piece of footage was immense. They came around that corner and, through the bokeh and that leopard came. That sort of stuff. I write it down. I keep a little journal of stuff that I really like and the ways that images I've seen have impacted me and what I liked about them. If you write that down, that will stick in your mind and you will remember for future that when you're out taking pictures, maybe that would work really nice. And that's really going to help you when you're improving your photography and getting out to take some really cool and different, that's the key, different wildlife photography. So that's it for 5 key tips for getting started in wildlife photography. If you've enjoyed that, spank that like button, smack the like button. Click it with your mouse. And yeah, if you've got any comments or you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And yeah, subscribe for more and I will join you in another video.